traders, Raghee here, and in this update we're going to talk about some of the pullback buys that I think are looking really good for next week. And I'm also going to share with you all a question that I get a lot is, Rag, when does your stuff go on sale? And I'll share that link with you all as well. So let's talk about some of the pullback buys that I have my eye on. One of them happens to be the S&P. I like the longs in the YM, but second to that, I like the long positions in the S&P. They're going to track with the Dow. They're going to, in many ways, also track with the NASDAQ. So the S&P ends up in this tug of war. I think the NAS is actually looking like it's ready to dip back into the range. So I'm looking for another move lower in the NAS before it continues to maybe chop higher, right? But that's a big if. What I feel a whole lot more comfortable with is dip buys in the S&P, and then also dip buys in financials if we can get them. So keep an eye on financials, keep an eye on healthcare, and then if we get a dip to buy in the Dow, that's going to be a straight up easy, I think, initial buy right around 34,104. And so, yeah, I'm thinking a little bit of weakness as we kick off the month of June, just a little bit, and then I'm actually very bullish. And maybe some of my expectation for some weakness is really just a little bit of wishful thinking, because if we can get that bit of weakness, we can also then be opportunistic and buy into it. And as promised, for those of you that asked about my indicator package bundle, V-score, and the anchored VWAPs and V-profiles, most of the V-score is what I get the questions about, or my mastery. My mastery is going on a crazy sale. I was only told about this last day or so, that my mastery is on sale, $200 off for the quarter. So for those of you that have asked, you know, maybe the 597 is a little steep, but right now the 597 is actually 397. And I'll tell you what, gang, I didn't know we were putting it on sale this week. That's a really good sale. One of our members just today mentioned that she's up 15% in her account through May. And that's the kind of stuff that I love hearing. And so if you are interested in Sector Secrets Mastery, it's $397 right now. And all my different courses are on sale over at simplertrading.com/Raghee S-sale. But I'm sure you'll be getting an email about it as well. So just sort of recap what we're looking at for next week. Let's look for those pullbacks in the S&P. Let's look for not so much an emphasis on the NAS, although I do think it's going to be pulling back. But let's stick with where the trends are better. Financials, the S&P, transports, industrials, the Dow. That's where we want to stick with the trends that have been really outperforming so far this year. Have a great weekend. Spend a little time away from the computer. I'm going to make this short and sweet because we'll have plenty to talk about both in these videos and in the chat room next week. Thanks as always for being part of the Simpler community. And I'll see you on Charts and Coffee on probably Monday. So if you're interested in Charts and Coffee on Monday, I'll probably be here in the office looking at the charts a little bit. So I'll see you then.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me